Hello everyone, congrats on finishing your first quiz. What we're going to do today is one more section in this prereq chapter that we have before we get started back in chapter 1. Our next section in chapter 1 is going to be on quadratic functions and polynomials, so we want to do a little background before we get there with some skills that we think you should have before we get there. And so that's what we did with section P3 that you did last class. Today, section P4 is on factoring quadratics. So what we're going to go through is just a couple of methods for factoring quadratics, make sure everybody's comfortable with that, and then you'll have some problems to do with it. So, number one, let's start with just your trinomials, factoring quadratic trinomials, and A being 1. So when I talk about quadratics, I'm going to say a lot like A, B, and C values. So what I'm doing is thinking of a quadratic in standard form. If A is the coefficient with the x squared, B with the x, and C is your constant. So if I have just a quadratic like x squared plus 7x plus 12, and I ask you to factor that, remember what you're trying to do is you're trying to find a pair of numbers that add to 7 and multiply to 12. So if I think of my factors of 12, I have 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. So 3 and 4 add to 7. So you have x plus 3 times x plus 4. So problem 2, let's make this one x squared minus 11x minus 42. So go ahead and pause the video and try this problem. Come back and see how you did. Alright, so for this one, we're looking for the factors of negative 42. So I'm just going to write down the factors of 42. So 1 and 42, 2 and 21, 3 and 14, 6 and 7. The 3 and the 14 are the ones people forget all the time. Now I need the factors to add to negative 11. So I'm clearly going to use some combination of the 3 and 14. And since I need it to be negative 11, I'm going to make the 14 negative. So that means we have x, well, not x squared, x plus 3 times x minus 14. So that's just factoring a trinomial when the A value is 1. You're looking for those two numbers that multiply to be the last number and add to be the middle number. So it's really just like a puzzle, right? Just a number puzzle, finding those two numbers. The other technique of factoring a quadratic is when you have what's called a difference of perfect squares. So something like x squared minus 36. We call it a difference of perfect squares because x squared is a perfect square, right? The square root of x squared is really, it's the absolute value of x. So we're just going to consider x to be positive, so that's x. And the square root of 36 is 6. So since those are perfect squares, then this simply factors into x minus 6 and x plus 6. And think about why it has to be minus and plus is that when I multiply this out, the middle term has to go away, right? I would have minus 6x plus 6x, so I have 0x. Also, if we think about solving the quadratic equation, we get x squared equals 36. We get x equals plus or minus 6 are the roots. Now, let's try, so this was 3. So why don't you go ahead and try to factor 4x squared minus 121. Alright, let's see how you did with that. So they're both perfect squares. The square root of 4x squared is 2x. The square root of 121 is 11. So this factors into 2x minus 11 and 2x plus 11. So that's factoring perfect squares. This does not work if it's addition between the two, only if it's subtraction. So those are some basic factoring patterns. Now let's look at where this, if it gets difficult in this area, or a little challenging, not necessarily difficult, it's one when the A value is not equal to 1. So factoring 3x squared plus 11x minus 4. Now, one method to doing this is just guessing and checking, kind of playing around with the numbers. You can't really just do the factors of 4 because now there's a value up front. So if I do 3x and x, what I need to do is use my factors of 4 so I get my middle term to be positive 11. Well, I know if I do 3 times 4, that's going to get me to be 12. And then if I do a minus 1 here, that will give me my And what's nice about that is you just play with the number puzzle and you get it to work. What's tough is it's not always easy. It's not always obvious. So if you struggle with guessing and checking when A is not 1, there is a method that you can use that will always work. You're never required to show this method. And you don't have to use it if you can guess and check. But there are some students I feel that need this as kind of a method to follow in order to factor when the A value is not 1. And this method is called split the middle term. And here is how it works. You're going to take the A and C value, so the 3 and the negative 4, and we're going to multiply those, and I get negative 12. Now, I got to pick two numbers that multiply to negative 12 and add to 11. Add to my middle term. So that's going to be 12 and negative 1. So, next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this middle term and I'm going to split it. And what I mean by that is I'm going to write my quadratic, but instead of writing 11x next, what I'm going to write is we had 11x split to 12x minus 1x minus 4. So I split the middle term to be 12x minus 1x. It's still the same thing. I haven't changed the value of this quadratic. I've just taken that number and split it in a certain way. Now we're going to use a technique called factoring by grouping. And here's how that works. I'm going to look at my first two terms. And I'm going to factor out the GCF, or the greatest common factor. So if I look at 3x squared and 12x, my greatest common factor for the numbers, it's 3. For x squared and x, it's x. And I'm left with x plus 4. Now I look at my second two numbers, and I also factor out the GCF. Well, for negative 1x and negative 4, the only thing they have in common is negative 1, which leaves me with x plus 4. And now what you should notice is this. What I have in parentheses is the same. I have an x plus 4 and an x plus 4, so I can really factor that out. And then what I'm left with, when I get rid of the x plus 4, I'm left with a 3x, and I'm left with a minus 1. And I have 3x minus 1. And if you'll notice, those are the same factors we got via guess and check. So this method is called split the middle term. Sometimes just shortened to split the middle, but you're really splitting the middle term. It's the method that I'm using. Again, you don't have to use it. You can just guess and check. All right, let's try another one like this. So, let me stop. Apparently I started that one. I don't know how I got right there. Let's see what we have here. So we have 2x squared minus 5x plus 3. So if I do 2 plus 3, or 2 times 3, that's 6. Now I need two numbers that multiply to be positive 6 while adding to be negative 5. So that's negative 2 and negative 3. So I'm going to go ahead and split the middle term. So I have 2x squared minus 2x. Let me change the color so you can see the splitting happen. Minus 2x minus 3x plus 3. So I split the middle. Now I'm going to do GCF. So out of 2x squared, and minus 2x, the GCF is 2x. And I'm left with x minus 2. Out of negative 3x and 3, they have a 3 in common. The key is, if there's a minus here, you always want to factor out the negative. Oh, this should be x minus 1 here. And if I take out the 3, I also get x minus 1. The key to this method is you have to see inside the parentheses matches. And then whatever's left, that builds your other factor. So 2x minus 3. So there's your factor. You can get that through split the middle, or you can get that through guessing and checking. All right, two more problems. Number 7. So for this one, let's do 4x squared plus 4x minus 24. All right, I'll give you a moment. Go ahead and factor that. Pause the video, and we'll go over here in just a minute or two. All right, so you made an effort on this one, and if you tried split the middle, it probably got really ugly. So the key with this one is, and why I had this as a problem, is you always want to look for a GCF first. Because if you can factor out a GCF first, it makes everything else easier. And if I look here, I have 4, 4, and negative 24 for my values there. I can factor out a 4, which leaves me with x squared plus x minus 6. And now all I have to do is think of two numbers that multiply to negative 6 and add to 1, which are 3 and negative 2. And I'm done with the factoring problem. But if you try to do split the middle, it probably made this really difficult. So the reason I did this one is it looks like it could be split the middle, but always look to see, is there a GCF you can factor first? All right, final question. This is in that grouping idea. So let's say, now this isn't a quadratic anymore. Now we have a polynomial. And you're asked to factor this guy. So, what you want to do, don't let all these variables kind of intimidate you in terms of all these exponents. Look at the x plus 1s. All right? Because really I have two terms here. I have term 1 and I have two terms. The terms are separated by addition or subtraction. In this case it's addition. So if I look in term 1, in terms of x plus 1, I have 3 of those. Over here in terms of x plus 1, we have 4 of them. So what do they have in common? They both have at least 3 x plus 1s. So I can factor out an x plus 1 to the third. Now let's look at the x minus 2s. If I look at the x minus 2s, the first term has 4 of them. The second term has 3 of them. So again, both terms at least have 3 of them. So I can factor out an x minus 2 to the third. And now let's see what's left. So with the first term, I have the 3. I had 3 x plus 1s. I took out all 3. I had 4 x minus 2. I took away 3 of them. So I have an x minus 2 left. For the second term, I have the 2. For the x plus 1s, I had 4 of them. We factored out 3, so I have 1 left. We have the x minus 2s. We had 3. We took them all away. So that's done. And then right above here, I'm just going to distribute. So we have 3x minus 6 plus 2x plus 2. And so now, if I want to combine everything, I have x plus 1 to the third, x minus 2 to the third, 3x plus 2x is 5x, negative 6 plus 2 is minus 4. So that polynomial factors into those 3 terms. And what factoring is going to help us do is find the roots or the zeros, or what we call the x-intercepts of our polynomials. And it's going to be essential to our graphing. So the main idea from this video, the main takeaway is factoring quadratics, looking for first is when a is 1, find that number pattern that will multiply to be the last number, add to be the middle, looking for situations where it's difference of squares, and then when you have the a is not 1, you can use split the middle term or guess and check, but always look for that GCF first. And then the last one, if you have to do some grouping like in number 8, it looks kind of complicated, but we'll get used to working with problems like that. So, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know.